You already know here in Southern California, it is a sunny Sunday, nice warm Sunday, beautiful day to be enjoying yourself out and about, on this Sunday afternoon. Let me just set this up. Now, for those who are curious, I did drop a new battle rap reaction on my other channel, right? I uploaded one today and yesterday and the day before. You guys want to scope those out. Really good tracks, talented individuals, skillful on the mic. That's without a doubt. So you guys can scope those out. The channel, I did upload a new video as well today. Just giving my personal opinion on certain YouTubers attacking the raza, trying to make them look bad or trying to paint them as bad people for whatever reasons they have, right? So I did a video on that, because, I do have seen it ramp up a little bit more now. People targeting, Hispanics, fueled by the raids that have been happening and Donald Trump's, rants and distractions, from real topics, real, subjects. Like, the whole thing that Trump can't get rid of the whole Epstein scandal thing off his back. Right? He's been trying everything, but he can't seem to dodge this subject, which is good. Because, I mean, we're talking about such a disturbing case that, people have the right to, know the information, see the information, and for the individuals involved to be prosecuted. I was seeing an individual had made a video. He's a behavior analysis and I think a criminal psychologist, right? And he was studying videos of certain, I guess, friends of Epstein's or partners, right? And they're being asked about the whole Epstein thing, and he's giving his opinion on what he sees in the individual's body language, if they're telling the truth or not. And it's actually quite interesting videos. And keep in mind that these are individuals, that this is a profession, so it's quite interesting. The fact that professionals are telling you this stuff about these individuals, and yet the people seem to be still stuck in this delusion or believe the lie, is crazy in itself, right? Like, we're just not talking about regular people now. We're talking about like people who are experts in this type of field, right? And yet people are still like in denial. Hello there. What are we talking about? Pretty much, anything and everything right here. We're pretty much open to anything, any discussions. But I was just talking about how Donald Trump can't shake the whole Epstein scandal, and he's trying desperately. Because people do have the right to know what's in those files, or people's names, right? At least when we're talking about people who take advantage of children, predators. It's crazy. Even though people could kind of somewhat have an idea of who these individuals are already. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket science to see some of these people's behaviors are quite alarming. Just like Diddy. But as we have learned with Diddy, eventually it does come crumbling down. Weinstein and Diddy and Epstein and and now apparently Trump. And who knows who's next? Probably Bill Gates, Clinton, maybe Prince Andrew, and God knows who, what other presidents or from other nations. A lot of them guys are pretty weird. They got that fetish. Well, no. I'm like, maybe not the French president, because from what the looks of things, it seems like he likes him a little bit older. Isn't his wife older than him by like fucking 20 years or 30? So, It might be, if anything, with him, he might actually be the victim here. Not because I read somewhere where she at one point was his teacher, so that's interesting, strange, and it's crazy how that doesn't get people riled up as much as like if it would be a man doing it to a woman, because essentially it's still the same thing, right? An adult taking advantage of a child here, but I guess because it's a woman, people don't seem to mind, which is strange. What's cracking like Mr. Pasa? It's definitely up in the casa. What's good, Loke? What you getting yourself into on this Sunday? We chilling, just loking, token, provoking. Nah. How's your Sunday going? Oh, serio? Damn, he's on a roll then, huh? Hey, that foot deserves a treat. Or I guess you could say that the rats are the treats, but he deserves a new chewing toy or yarn bar or whatever the fuck cats like to play with. So he's just on a roll. Wait, is he getting rats or mice? You are always on my phone. Am I? Oh, well, hello. Es la rata killer. Serio, huh? You getting all the rats and mice? Hey, those fools are quick, I'm telling you. They have quick reactions. That's why they're perfect for that job. Do they eat them or they just kill them? Because other ones I have seen, I think I just seen them kill the rats, but they don't actually eat them. I seen the snakes eat the fucking like when snakes eat mice. I don't know if they have 8 rats, but I know they eat mice. Cause some rats are pretty big, bro. Some rats get like the size of a fucking like a raccoon. Master Splinter? Fuck. And diseases? Yeah. A lot of rodents do. Most rodents do. Yeah, those suckers do get big. But they're actually needed though. It keeps the food chain going. Eliminating any animal off the food chain is going to create some type of, problem. Yeah, serio. It's animals' instincts, yeah. They got that killer in them from their ancestors. Is that lion, tiger, cheetah, cougar instinct to them in them still? Oh, they do eat them? Damn, my boy, this shit is breakfast time for them. Did you break up with your wife? No, I'm still happily married, bro. I see my. Oh, damn. So those fuckers do be eating them shits. Hey, fuck it, you save money on food right there. Those New York rats are massive. Was it in New York that I seen where they have like those big ass ones though, like the size of fucking like um squirrels? Now those fuckers do get big though. Like they're bigger than the cats. And those fuckers got big ass teeth too. They could do damage. Can't they like bite through fucking steel and shit? Please follow me. Follow you on what? Mexico rats are huge. Oh, are they? Some Asians are breeding them for me. Well, I don't know about that. Maybe, I don't know. I don't have the knowledge, to speak on that. But yeah, those fuckers do get big though. It's crazy how in some parts of the world, how animals can get like the size that they get. Like in like the spiders in Australia that are the fucking size of like fucking baseball glove. Like the real Spider-Man. Is Blue Devil real gangster? Who just talks all day on YouTube? On the YouTube channel. Well, I can tell you this much. I don't know Blue Devil personally. Personally, I don't know Blue Devil, right? So I wouldn't be able to say if he's actually like a real gangster. But what I could tell you though is that Blue Devil's actually really from his hood, right? And he really is like he really does hang out with his homies, and he is someone who's actually, respected in his neighborhood. I do know that much, right? Because I do know some individuals from his neighborhood, right? But I wouldn't be able to say like, oh, that I know that he's with it, right? Because I never, I personally don't know him like that, right? But his homies seem to stamp it, so I mean, as long as he's good in his hood, I mean, truly, that's the only thing that matters. Like, well, he could still associate himself with his homies, so that actually says a lot, though. I get it though, like why people would, not be too fond of him, right? But if the evidence is pointing one way, then he's from the Loonies gang. Yeah. Yeah, I saw a video. Huge rats. Orale, okay, damn, that's crazy. He claims loonies. There are no loonies in LA. I told him that the other day. That's crazy because loonies are in LA though. They're in LA and they're in the IE. As a matter of fact, they started, in that. And actually, they had a small presence in Orange County too, right? But that one since has became defunct, right? But yeah. Didn't get punked by 100. No, but see, here's the thing though. You can't get punked through the internet though, right? Like you just can't. Nobody could get punked through a screen. You just can't. You can't. Punk is in person, right? Because let's say he would have been talking shit back, like talking all this shit, but that don't make you gangster though. Like why you woofing and barking all this and that? Like if we really have a disagreement, taken to that level, then we can just get at them personally in person, right, and handle the scandal. And it's as simple as that, right? Because that's the only way to be gangster, and the only way to put in work, and the only way to earn stripes is in person, face to face, not in music, not on a video, not yelling at a screen of a phone. You can't, because on the screen and the comfort, the safety of your wherever you're at, you can say whatever the fuck you want, but that don't make it true though. You can say you a killer, you're known for knocking out people. You can say anything you want, but it don't make it true, right? So how's that gangster? How can you punk somebody, by saying stuff online? Anybody can say anything. Bill Gates could come out here and be like, man, fuck you, you're a pussy, homie. I'll knock you out, man. I'll select you. right? Just like WAC 100, right? But they don't make it true though. Because look, people have said this about WAC 100, how WAC 100 is fake, how he does his talk, how he does his bark, how he's not really about it because, you know, he has pig fights with all kinds of people, but yet he has never actually met up with somebody and actually squabbled. So people are, you know, have always said this about WAC. But as soon as now WAC punks somebody that they dislike, all of a sudden he becomes a real gangster, or he's really about it, or he really did that. And it's like, but bro, the other time you were saying that he's lame, he's wag. You know what I mean? Now, like I said, I'm not here to defend Blue Devil, and I'm not saying that Blue Devil, like, oh yeah, he would have, and you know what I mean? Because like I said, I don't know him, but I'm just, you know, speaking on the facts of things that you just can't put somebody to the phone. Like I'm not gonna waste my time arguing with somebody back and forth, right? Like I'll just, you know, end the conversation, right? Because if you really want to get at me with that type of energy, then we can meet up in person. Other than that, you know, I'm not gonna do the back and forth though. You know, because homies are, you know, brought up never to do that. You don't do that. You don't conduct yourself like that. Because if you really feel that strongly, bro, there's nothing. You have a car. There's nothing stopping you from going and telling them. You know what I mean? I'm sure that his hood likes him. Maybe. Who knows? You know. I don't know that information, right? But that's the reason why I don't like say stuff, you know, because I don't know that information, right? I don't know if his homies, you know, all his homies do like him or they don't, right? So I can't speak on that, right? Because like I said, I don't have the facts on that, right? But we do know that, you know, his homies, you know, are around him and he is able to chill with his homies. So, you know, that in itself speaks volume, though. Are they in? Because they got moved out. Nah, the reason for neighborhoods like, you know, like certain neighborhoods like his, right? The reason why they're constructed like that is because they started off as a tagging crew, as like tag bangers, right? And when a neighborhood starts off as tag bangers, they tend to be scattered in different locations. You know, they don't really have a set spot, because how they start off as tag banging crews, and that's how tag banging, you know, tag bangers. That's how pretty much how they work and they're structured. And because, like I said, his is not the only neighborhood that's like that, right? You have several others, you know, who were tag bangers that became neighborhoods, you know, JBI, UMK, Cam, you know, DCK, like, and so many other neighborhoods, you know what I mean? That were just all like that as well at one point. But he stole the horse. Come on, man. No real homie steals other man's horse. That ain't cool. I don't know, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I have had one of my homies steal a horse. Well, I'm like, I didn't have him steal a horse, but one of my homies did steal a horse, and he sold it for $100. I'm not even making that up. He sold it for $100. You would have figured he would try to get more out of it, right? But I guess he really wanted to get rid of it fast. And it's funny because he had came to my mom's house and he wanted to leave it at my mom's. My mom was like, "Fuck no." Yes, he rolled up on the horse, not riding the horse, but like pulling it. Some of the shit that fools have done, that shit was funny though. I don't know who he stole it from or where he got it from, but that was interesting though. Got moved out by Cam, his town, self state, but they were originally. Yeah, no, but they still have a presence there though. I know this because I know some of those individuals. Not a big presence, but they're still there, you know. Do you think Chito Rana's real homies, being from Sacramento, which is? Do I think like he's a real homie just because he's an upstater? Yeah. He's a real homie. He's really from his neighborhood. Now, like I said, I'm not gonna come and stamp that they're down or that they're actually, you know, about the business, because I don't know them personally like that, right? But at the same time, I can't say that they're fake or they're lames or that they're not really about it, because, like I said, I really don't know them like that, right? So I can't speak neither yay or nay. I only speak on when I actually know the real individuals and the real information. Like 100. Truck driver? Was he? Why is Blue Devil always posting his past being from hood, like he's still trying to prove his gangs? I don't know, bro. Yeah, like stuff like that. I don't agree with, right? I don't agree individuals should do that, right? I truly don't know. I don't believe he's a real homie. No, and I'm not saying that people need to, but like feel the way I feel about certain individuals. Like if people don't see them, like everyone's entitled to their opinions, right? Like if people don't feel like these individuals are real, then that they're entitled to, you know, you're entitled to your views, you know. I just personally, if I don't know, you know, like information, like if I actually don't know that these individuals are weenies, or if I actually don't know that these individuals are down, then I'm not gonna stamp neither story, you know, because that would be reckless of me to come and try to pass off my opinions like if it's facts. You get what I mean? I just don't get down like that, you know. It's a red flag when homies from a hood tell you get the fuck out of here. Riddles is basically can't hang with them. Oh yeah. If you can't be around your homies, then it's a wrap. You know, it's crazy. Like I said, that, you know, there's certain individuals that come on YouTube and try to act big and bad. You know, like if they about that, right? But they can't even go to kick it in their spots, bro. So it's kind of like, how you gonna be telling people that they can't, that they best not come around if you can't even come around? Saludos, my brother. Good to see you. Hey, gracias, carnal. Um, my my opinion matters. Yes, your opinion does matter. Everybody's opinion matters. You know, but to, you know, like meaning to yourself, right? But let's say your opinion to their neighborhood. Like let's say what happens in the neighborhood and how their neighborhood conducts their business, or how they handle stuff and stuff like that. Your opinion is not gonna matter then, because you're not from their neighborhood, right? So what you have to say is not gonna affect their neighborhood, or they're not gonna take it into consideration. You get what I mean? That's what I'd be saying. Like, well, people could not like how certain neighborhoods do this or that, but the neighbor doesn't care about that kind of shit, right? They don't care about what people like and dislike, or how they go about it and don't go about it, right? Because they're not from the neighborhood. Like, if you want your opinion to matter to the neighborhood and stuff like that, then you have to be in the neighborhood. You have to be a part of the neighborhood. If not, your opinion will be irrelevant to them. And that's just the, you know, truth on things. So that's why when people ask me like, "Oh, what? How do you feel about this neighborhood and what they did right there?" Like, well, I don't know. I'm not from that neighborhood. You know. You know. Same with the whole, like, you know, when people be like, "Oh, well, this person snitched or whatever." Like, well, he ain't from my neighborhood. Like, well, go tell somebody from his neighborhood. You get me? Other, like, gangs don't clean up other gangs' backyards. They don't clean up other. They don't clean up other. They don't get involved in other gangs' business. You know what I mean? Like, oh, 6ix9ine snitched. Well, go tell the Bloods. Go tell the, you know, Trey Nines. You know, the Trey Nines have to fix that problem. You know, not no other gang. Imagine, you know, you getting like, people are gonna be like, "Hey, fool, what are you getting involved in in that gang's business, bro? Like, what? Like, you want us to jump you out? You go get jumped into that neighborhood then. Since you all focus on their shit and you're over here trying to stick your nose in their shit, we'll jump your ass out right now. You go get jumped into their neighborhood." And that's the cold hearted truth. You know, hey, we got shit to worry about here. You know, we got shit to conduct in our neighborhood. How about you focus your shit here, not over there? And that's what homies are gonna tell you. I'll tell you, don't worry about what them fools are doing, bro. We got shit to take care of over here. You know what I mean? If you're gonna risk getting caught up, and if you're gonna risk getting busted or bringing attention, make sure that it's because of our hood and our business, and not somebody else's. You know, because then people are gonna be like, "Hey, bro, you might as well go get into their neighborhood." And I think people lose track of that, right? Because how it's like, oh, well, you guys are all, Southsiders, and you guys all represent the blue and fall under the umbrella. And like I said, when you're incarcerated and when you're in the streets, it's two different worlds, two different sets of rules, two different ways of going about things. It's not the same thing. So how individuals conduct themselves in there and out here is two different things, right? What applies in there doesn't apply in the streets, and vice versa. But people have a hard time understanding that, right? And it's like, but how is that possible? And it's like, okay, to make it easy for you, let's put it like this. Well, the FBI and the LAPD are both law enforcement, right? But they all fall under the law enforcement thing, but LAPD can't go and now, get involved in FBI business, and vice versa. You know? They're gonna be like, whoa, this ain't your jurisdiction, this ain't your rank. Yo, what the fuck you doing? Hey, get back to your shit. Right? But yet they're both law enforcement, they work for the United States, but it's two different umbrellas. You know what I mean? So it's not that hard to, see how that's possible. And you see how even law enforcement in their divisions, they don't like each other, right? Sheriffs talk shit about the PDs. FBI don't like, law enforcement. Law enforcement hates on the FBI. CIA hates on FBI. FBI hates on the CIA. And even with fucking firefighters, they have like this rivalry for some strange reason. Shit, even in the military that happens, right? Marines clown on fools that are in the Army. Armies clown on fools that are in the fucking Air Force. And, they have like this rivalry. But they're all branches of the military. So it's, stuff like that. There's also money signs so being taken out by his people when well, see, when it comes to like prison and what happens in there and what how it goes down, I don't speak on like incarceration, like incidents that happen within prison. I never discuss prison on here, right? There's certain stuff I just don't dive into for reasons. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my lunch break is over. We got to get back to it. It was good chopping it up with you guys, and we out.